Welcome to KCE Racing Tuesday night Gen 4 series. Tonight we have a great broadcast for you with the championship race for the Gen 4s at the KCE Racing League. It will be Coco and Matt. Matt, how you doing? Matt up here in the booth.
Very good, very good.
So we're sitting here right now watching some practice, and just our guys got about 8 minutes left of practice, which will then throw us into our qualifying session. But we're going to go ahead and do a couple of sound tests here and try to get our things dialed in and ready for this race tonight.
Yep, should be a very, very good night for our championship and in the Gen 4 series. A couple guys out there are running practice already.
Yeah, I believe we have out of everybody in the championship contention, it looks like we have Paul Gall in the number 44, number 73 Sam Trout, number 88 Tim Kennedy, number 95 Chris Moulton is also in the championship hunt. Not sure if he's out there yet. And then we have the number 24 Gary Kipfer, who is out due to injury. So, Matt, I see we're currently with Tim Kennedy doing his practice out there, getting kind of close to the number 15.
Yep, Tim, that 88 car looks fast tonight.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Darlington is one of those tracks where, you can't be afraid of the wall. The preferred line is up near that wall.
Yeah, that Darlington stripe, that's a term for a reason here at this track.
Yeah, you got the 77 about 5 foot off. You could tell he's a little nervous around that red and white.
Looking out front, you can see Paul Gall out the windshield there. Let's jump on over with him. Paul, one of our championship contenders tonight.
Yeah, I look for things with Paul. Paul's always up in the hunt no matter where he's at. Paul's best is what, a 29.62. It's not putting him high in the charts, but we've seen this with Paul before. Paul is kind of one of those guys who practices halfway, and then in the race he's really up there with the top three.
Yeah, got about just under 4 minutes left at practice here. It's our championship guys. Looks like the 95 of Chris Moulton, one of our championship contenders, has connected as well. So look to see him out on track. 4 drivers out on track for championship. Tim in the 88, Sam Drought in the 73, Chris Moulton in the 95, and Paul Gall here in the number 44 we're on board with.
Yeah, we'll be watching them throughout the evening and making sure we know where they're at and who they're battling against for that championship position. You got 2 races in one here, right? You got the race winner and you got the championship winner. The way the championship runs is we'll go through this when we get there, but basically top 6 drivers are contending for that championship in the KCE Racing League Gen 4 Championship.
Yeah, coming up here at the end of this 2.5 minutes, we'll have qualifying. And then these guys will go through their pre-race drivers meeting and a little bit of a pit party, do some practice with the field right before these guys take the green here for the race.
Should be an interesting race. It looks like a small field tonight with 13 I'm showing, 14 kind of logged in at this time, so we might have 14 drivers, but I look for some exciting racing either way.
See Paul work his way around the 79 there. So we check up on another championship contender here, 95 Chris Moulton.
Yeah, Chris is always a fast guy out there, and well deserved to be in that championship contention. And I see Chris has his picture nice and plastered to the driver information for you guys below.
Yeah, and for any of our racers watching the broadcast, or if you happen to catch it afterwards, there's a link to fill that out and get all your guys' information up here on the broadcast.
Nothing looks better than your smiling mugshot up there. Out on track there, we're watching the 73 battle that 79 going into turn 1 here. '73 Sam Drought, that's one of our championship contenders as well. Looks like we're headed into the qualifying session at this time. Let's see who we can drive aboard here. First person out. We have Vil Zanowski going out for his lap.
It's a good looking Interstate Battery sponsorship he's running.
Yeah, it is. You know, that takes me back to the Bobby Labonte years, right?
Yeah, let's see if Sam holds that top line going around here, build some speed up in that car. All right.
There's a 29.521.
29.2 from the 15 of Britain on the pole right now. Let's check on the 95, Chris Moulton. Moulton goes P4 on his first lap, 29.413.
Sam Drought, or Tim Kennedy takes the first position. It's bouncing all around, but Tim does with his second lap, 29.13.
Moulton on his second lap, just a tad slower than his first. Looks like he'll be P5.
I'm going to pull over to Paul Gall. He's got something going on. He's just coming into the pits now. He's sitting in our 7th position. Ray Smith just retired from qualifying the 29.55. Looks like we still have Shane Bowie out on track, maybe? In the 55, you might be coming down. This last lap was a 29.8.
You know, Coco, it looks like the 55 Bowie's got himself a throwback scheme tonight here at Darlington.
Yeah, he does. It's a good looking paint job with that maroon or dark red and gold.
I like that. I do.
Yeah. Looking kind of fancy out there. So I believe everybody but Sean Kaiser is out there right now, and Edwin Post are the last two to post any time here. Sean's going to have to settle for a 30.07 on that one, and Edwin Post is going to have to settle in that 79 for a 30.52.
Yeah, this is such a tricky track to get around and make that lap time.
Yeah, especially coming off a 2 there. Once it get loose, you know, a lot of guys have to lift right there, throwing away that lap. But all in all, it's a fun track. So these guys will go ahead and look over their qualifying times and get ready to go into their drivers meeting, where they'll go over different things about the track, rules, regulations, and just get everything ready to rock and roll. Edwin going out for another, or just... All right, guys. While the guys are taking care of their drivers meeting, we're going to head for just a real quick break. We'll be right back with you. Well, welcome back, guys. We're working out a little bug here.
Yeah, these guys are still in the driver's meeting. We'll be back on track here in just a minute.
All right, we're back in business, guys. We're headed out to our pit party where the guys will line up 2x2. And they'll simulate a race start in like a practice environment. This way they get the cobwebs out and the butterflies out of their stomach and know what it's like to go into turn one together as a group. Looks like Chris Bolton's up front there leading this pit party.
Looks like they might be going around again here, getting lined up.
I think maybe somebody was in the pit still or something because I'm counting 13, I believe like 14, I'm not sure.
All right, looks like these boys are going to tighten them up and go green this time for their pit party here.
77 laying back.
Chris Moulton starting them off. They're green. Moulton gets a good start on that bottom line. Shane Bowie in the 55 in third, working on second place. Paul Gall in the 44.
Looks like the 88 in that bottom line had an issue back there. Didn't get started at all.
Yeah, 95 out to a 1 second gap already on P2 there here in this pit party. 55 up in the wall.
Getting that stripe early.
Yeah, the Lady in Black here in Darlington, South Carolina. I think that's where the nickname comes from.
Yep. That's and she's not nice. Oh, loose off of 4.
Yeah, I think we're going to talk about that all night, aren't we? How loose these cars get.
Yeah, it's a very very difficult track. The way the banking is, very difficult. Especially, like I said, when you go into turn one, a lot of guys will bring that left tires down on that white dotted line there and then come up into that wall. Misjudge your turn a bit, and you're gonna scrape across. I don't know if you caught that, Matt, but pretty much the back three right there were all loose coming off.
Yeah, that exit of 2 especially is real loose. Not as bad on 4, I found when I've been out on track, but 2 definitely is. You can see that dotted white line in these turns. I think you're going to see some cars even below that. Not out of bounds here for cars to get below that, what we would think of as the apron.
Yeah, no, I'll be honest with you, Matt. I am one that puts that center line as my tires wear to the center of my vehicle. Right
Yeah,
there.
I think there's a little bit more grip down there if you can hit that line just right.
Yep. Yeah, if you watch me, I'm down on there all day long. Not that I'm any faster, but it makes me feel a little more confident.
Yeah, looking at the times in this warm up, I think we're going to see a few comers and a few goers in the race, at least until these guys get it figured out. Qualifying position and times out here on track are a little different.
I'm going to switch over to Tim Kennedy here, just get a in-car view of him. Yeah, Tim, is Tim using third gear?
Let's take a listen as he goes back around here.
All right, so Tim pulls it in. Let's see who else we can look at. We got Sean Kaiser here going around the track.
Yeah, these guys got about 3.5 minutes here before we go green flag in the Gen 4 championship race tonight.
Should be an interesting race. Right now we're sitting there looking at, our times are so close together. A look from a gyro cam in the 79. About a minute and 15 seconds left for us to get into the KCE Tuesday Night Gen 4 Championship race.
Yeah, Coco, really looking forward to tonight. We have 4 of our 6 championship drivers with us tonight. A couple other guys not able to make it. The 73 Sam Drought, the 88 of Tim Kennedy, 95 of Chris Moulton, and the 44 of Paul Gall. Coco, who do you got tonight?
For the championship or for the race?
Let's start with the race.
All right, for the race, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say Sam Drought, which also puts me into a conundrum now, doesn't it?
It sounds like you're all in on Sam for both the race and the championship.
I'm going for Sam.
I'm gonna keep my eyes on the 15 for the race tonight, and I think the 88 of Tim Kennedy is probably going to come home with that championship.
Okay.
All right, let's take a look at our starting grid here. P1, Tim Kennedy on the pole tonight. P2, Sam Drought on the outside. P3, Spencer Britton. Phil Sarnowski in P4, and Chris Moulton round out your top 5.
All right, then we got in 6th position Nick Murphy in that 64, Paul Gall in the 44 in position 7, Ray Smith 272 in the 8th position, Shane Bowie in 9th position on the 55, and Chris Dake number 16 in the 10th position.
Yeah, a couple guys outside the top 10. We have Sean Kaiser starting P11, Ed Post in P12, Daniel Bonner in P13, and Vanderlei bringing up P14.
And it looks like we're getting ready to go here. Tim sitting in the 88 is sitting on the pole. Lights are off.
Yeah, 3 of our championship contenders starting up there in the top 5 with Kennedy, Drought, and Moulton. Coco, the track tonight, we're at Darlington, South Carolina. This is a 1.3 mile track. It's got 25 degrees of banking in turns 1 and 2 and 23 degrees in 3 and 4.
Wow, there you go. The green flag or the pace car's off.
Green flag, green flag.
Flag's waving. These guys are off and running. Tim
Yeah,
doesn't
good
get
start
that
by Tim. Good start.
Tim has a good start, but he didn't really get away from Sam.
No, 73, Sam Drought holding that outside line.
Oh, scraping that wall a little bit from Sam's rear end.
There's our first Darlington stripe tonight.
Pretty busy up front there between 2 and 6.
You know, these guys got single file here.
Yeah, they did. They got single file real quick, and Sam is continually just grabbing that rear end against the wall a little bit there.
Yeah, car's definitely a little loose on the start here. Tires warm up a little bit. That should help him out.
Looked like the 15 of Spencer Britton was getting a little bit on that Darlington stripe.
Yeah, Spencer coming back, starting P4, I believe, working his way up there to try to catch Tim.
Yeah, at this point you want to save them tires, and I think you just want to make sure that you don't let Tim to get too far away. Let him see in his mirror.
Yeah, that 15, he's maintaining that gap. Passing here at Darlington is tricky.
But there's really no good passing here. You have to wait for the guy to make a mistake in front of you pretty much, don't you?
Yeah, you really have to get that perfect exit to have a chance at passing here. So let's jump back to Paul Gall, one of our championship contenders, in P6 right now.
I look for Paul to put down them consistent laps, just keep marching to the front, and stay on that 95 to be in that championship contention.
Yeah, keep the guys you're running against close to you. Keep them in sight, and you've got a shot at this.
You see how long they're out of that throttle through them turns. They're letting it just kind of glide through.
Yeah, through 3 and 4 especially. 1 and 2, these guys carry a lot more speed.
Yep.
These guys completing lap 7 here are still loose in this Gen 4 car.
Well, I think we said it last week. I just want to harp on it again this week. Our Gen 4s mostly are veteran drivers here at the KCE Racing League, and it's for a reason. These cars are a handful. You have to drive that right pedal. You can't just be on and off. It definitely is, egg under it, right? So it's a little difficult car to handle.
Yeah, we just saw the 95 there as we were on board with Paul get around the 30 of Phil Sarnowski for P4. Chris Moulton moving up a little.
Chris must feel really confident in that car. It must be working well for him.
Yeah, Chris this season in the Gen 4, 11 starts with 8 top 5 finishes and 2 wins this season. He's our second Darlington stripe.
Can I change my pick?
I think it's too late now.
I wish
Let's
I would've
jump
had
on
them
board
stats.
with your pick. Sam Drought in P3 right now. Still trying to run down them leaders.
Yeah, I think Sam might have, shook out those cobwebs and got rid of the butterflies. And now he's putting on some laps.
Yeah, I'll give you the stats on your pick, Sam. 11 starts this season with 8 top 5s and 9 top 10s.
There you go. That's a consistent driver right there.
Yeah, Sam, he's been here at KCE for almost 2 years now. 23 starts in this series.
Wow. That's a lot of racing.
Let's jump up to Tim, P1 right now. Not walking away from P2 in the 15 there.
No, but you wonder, is that Tim saving his his gear, or is that the 15 keeping up?
I think it's 100% saving tires. I think every driver out there on track right now, 1 through 14, has got to have that on their mind. Tires, tires, tires.
Yeah, they are at a premium here, aren't they?
Let's run through our top 10 here. P1, Tim Kennedy. He has the 15 of Spencer Britton behind him. P3, Sam Drought. P4, Chris Moulton. And P5, Phil Sarnowski right now.
And on with that, we're going to go with our Paul Gall in 6th place. 7th place is Nick Murphy in the 64. In the 8th position, we have Ray Smith in the 272. And then Shane Bowie in 9th, followed by Sean Kaiser rounding out your top 10 in 10th position.
I'm a big fan of that 55 car tonight. That throwback scheme looks sharp.
Oh, yes, it does. I'm going to step out a little bit here, and I'm going to go back to one of our rookies here at KC Racing, Daniel Boner, 181. You give him a little bit of TV time because he's the only rookie out there that decided to brave the Darlington track tonight with us here. And yeah, he's in 14th position, but he's putting it down. And he's going to be chasing that Vanderlei down shortly, I think.
Back up front with Tim Kennedy in P1. Tim stretching out that lead a little bit, Coco. He's got 1.1 on P2 Spencer.
Yeah, he is. He's stretching it out a little bit, and it's Tim's MO in that 88. It's like once he gets it, that car comes to him every single race, doesn't it?
Yeah. Smooth. Definitely smooth up behind that wheel.
All right, so I see you're on Spencer right now, currently second. He started third. He's still hanging in there.
Yeah, you can definitely tell these guys are having a hard time passing tonight. Our biggest mover, a couple guys, Spencer and Chris Moulton, both up one position since the start of this race. Sam Drott and Phil Sarnowski both down one position.
Yeah, I think we dropped the ball again there, Matt, on our duties. I would have liked to check in during that practice time, see if we can get an idea of what a stint is, a tank of fuel. I'm not quite sure here.
Yeah, we'll find out when these guys start diving down onto pit road for them tires.
Yeah, once you see the first guy go in, it's not long before everybody else follows.
Back on board with Tim, our leader in the 88. Coming up on some lap traffic here. Looking to get around the 181 Bonner, and he does clean.
Yeah, Bonner got out of the way, let them guys race. Great worky move right there.
Yeah. You think this lap traffic is going to give these leaders a little bit more room tonight, being this the championship?
I do, and I'm just watching the 77 here. You know, getting out of the way of the 88. They don't necessarily have to do that, but that just shows the kind of respect that we got going on here at KCE.
Yeah, and you can see there on your screen the 15 closed that gap with Tim having to navigate that lap traffic.
Yes, sir. That's what that 15 needs all night long.
Let's check back on our other championship contenders. Sam Drought currently still running in third position.
Looks
Chris
like the
Moulton behind him, catching him.
Yeah, it looks like 95 is going to give him something to think about in a minute here.
Let's jump on board with Chris here in 95. I think Paul in the 73 was being a little generous there.
Sam in the 73, yeah, absolutely. I think he got a little nervous with him on the back. He scrapped it there and slowed it down. '95 looked pretty smooth when you were on board with him there, Matt.
Yeah, he's a little bit lower on track, about a lane and a half down from the wall, it looks like.
Yeah, he is. Showing from our top view there, it definitely looks like he's cutting it a little lower than everybody else.
Yeah, we mentioned in our practice broadcast call it the apron here at Darlington. Seeing a few guys start to creep down there searching for that grip.
I would expect that they're pushing pretty good right now with 28 laps on them tires.
Jump back on board with Paul Gall in the 44.
Yeah, what were they putting up for the best lap was 29.3s. Now they're sitting at 30.25.
Yeah, these guys have pace has definitely slowed quite a bit.
Yeah, Paul showing a 3.8 or 30.8.
Completing lap 30. of 120 here tonight for our championship race. Tim Kennedy still your leader. Spencer Britton in P2. Chris Moulton, P3, now up 2 positions since the start of this race. Sam Draught in P4, and Phil Sarnowski rounds out your top 5.
Looks like Tim's coming up on Edwin Post with that 79. That's going to be some more traffic, hopefully allowing Spencer to kind of maybe gain some ground again.
Yeah, when the 88 got out in that clean air, he stretched that lead back out to about 2 seconds now. Gets around Ed Post there clean.
No issues. I'm sure Ed gave him how you doing on the comms. Let him know he's okay to go around.
It looks like, Coco, we've got a round of possible pit stops coming. I got a couple guys down on pit road.
Yeah. I'm going to pull up the track map just so you can basically see. We've got cars all around the track battling for positions.
Yeah, big track with 14 cars out here. These guys are getting spread out pretty good. Coco, we saw last week pit strategy play into the win with an early pit stop. Pit strategy going to play a factor tonight with these guys, you think?
I absolutely do. Right now, we're showing what? We had a couple of guys did continue. They're still going. They're not coming in yet. So I'm still counting 35 and 34. So we'll see where they come in. And I definitely believe pitch strategy is going to become a factor. Only because you got Tim sitting there, full throttle and doing his thing and clean air and all that. The other guys, on and off the throttle, getting around different guys. So I think you're going to see different things here.
Yeah, just as you say that, we've got the 95 coming down into the pits here.
Lap, 37, 95 decides to pull it on in and get himself some new tires and some fresh fuel.
Yeah, this strategy, it contributed to the win last week for the 95, getting that early pit cycle in. As much as these tires are wearing, I expect to see a lot of these guys come in here pretty quick.
Kind of leaving your pit stop strategy box up just so we can see everybody coming in. I'm assuming here comes some more number, yeah.
Yeah, 79, Edwin Post making his stop.
Right now, Chris Moulton's down 7 positions with that stop. Let's see where he rounds out once this all gets, finalized.
Yeah, he was running P4 when he made his stop. So we'll see if those fresh tires can get a position or two. Got a couple more guys going to the pits. The 30 Phil Sarnowski and the 15 of Spencer Britton making his first pit cycle here. Leader Tim Kennedy dives it down onto pit road. That's going to give the 73 is down pit road as well.
Yeah, that's going to, turn you over into Nick Murphy right now on the 64 as our leader.
Yeah, yep. Ray Smith and the 272 still out on track running P2. John Kaiser yet to make his pit stop running P3 right now. Just as I say that, looks like he's making that left-hand turn down on pit road. Oh, a little wide.
Looks like he gains control of that.
Yeah, gets it woed down. '64 looks like he's coming in for his stop. That should cycle the 88 of Tim Kennedy back around to the lead.
Tim's currently showing in 4th position. Here he comes, 3rd, 2nd, and...
Coco, we just hit on it. The fresh tires, the 95 with that early pit stop. Looks like he'll cycle around the P2 as soon as this all shakes out. And he's made up quite a bit of ground. He got P3, and now he's right behind what will be our leader, the 88 of Tim Kennedy.
Could shake out to be a really fine race, a really fine finish like last week, huh?
I sure hope so. That was quite a race these guys put on last week for us.
Yeah, you can see it right there. We've got kind of everything laid out for you, but as the 181 joins back in, doesn't cause any problems for Tim and Chris. Relatively speaking, I guess. Looks like Britain might have had a little problem in the pits. 54 seconds.
Yeah, not sure what happened there. It's put him back to P9 in that 15 car.
He's got some work to do. I'm sure he's not real happy with the pit crew at this time, huh?
Yeah, currently sitting in that lucky dog position, so if caution comes out, he ought to get that lucky dog.
So back to our race, it looks like 95 is not letting that 88 get by, go, is he?
No, this is just what we saw last week between these two. Very good racing, hard battles. Neither one of these guys are going to give up. They're both racing for that championship tonight. They're going to give it everything they've got.
I got last lap for them two guys is 29.52 versus a 29.50.
That's pretty close.
It does look like Tim is stretching it just ever so slightly.
Yeah, you got to remember Tim has about 4 lap fresher tires than the 95 does. Go through another round of pit cycles, and that 95 early pit strategy might be what wins the race for him, as we see him get up into the wall just a little bit.
He definitely wanted to take, what did they say, the lady in black home with him there, huh?
Yeah. Let's jump on back to Paul Gall in the 44, one of our championship contenders tonight. Currently running P6 after pit cycle 1.
Yeah, these guys got a lot of racing room right now with, the smaller field, where they can be putting down some fast laps. So we'll have to see how that works out for them guys. But, with that, you don't have that pace keeping you grounded. You know what I mean? You can kind of overshoot.
Sam Drott, P3 right now. Another one of our championship contenders.
I don't think Sam ever lost third this whole race so far with 50 laps down.
Yeah, Sam is a very consistent driver across all 3 of our series. He races in our Xfinity and our Truck Series as well. Currently setting top 10 in points in both of those series. See a little wiggle there going through turns 1 and 2. These cars are still loose for these guys.
You'd think with after all the rubber they laid down in the first stint, it would get a little bit of grip, but no.
Let's jump on board in the cockpit with the 73 Sam and listen to what he's doing with that throttle. And you can hear it. These guys have to be so patient and smooth with that throttle on both ends of this track.
And there's Spencer currently in 9th position. He started in 3rd. Let's see if maybe he'd like to chat with us a little bit here with everybody spread out. Hey Spencer, you got Coco Matt in the booth. Can you talk to us?
Yeah, how's it going?
Good. How you doing out there, buddy? You guys look strung out there.
Yeah, I had a little bonehead penalty on that pit stop, so I'm trying to catch up a little bit. Trying to be the first car lap down. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it.
How's them tires holding up for you on your first stint?
Well, I got behind Tim there at the beginning, and I think I stayed a little bit too close to him in those first few laps and kind of burned my right front off. Felt that the rest of the run, but feel pretty good right now.
All right, buddy. Well, thanks for talking with us, and we wish you the best of luck. You just keep putting hammer down and go get that 73.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. That was Spencer Britton. Said we can talk to him if the race got strung out a little bit, so we decided to take him up on that deal and do a little in-car interview for him during the race.
Yeah, he's sitting with that lucky dog right now. He's the first car 1 lap down. As long as he can maintain that and our leader doesn't catch anybody else, he should get that.
Yeah, he's a great guy, great racer. Let's hope he can get that lucky dog and a caution comes out for him. That's the only thing with the smaller fields and here at this league, KCE Racing League. We have very seldom cautions, even with the larger fields. when we get a smaller field like this, it's you can't bank on a caution. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, especially at this track. It takes quite a bit to bring a caution out here.
So I see you're sitting on Tim Kennedy right now. We're looking at almost a 2-second gap between first and second. Tim is again, smooth and just running those consistent laps. Really, really just putting them down.
Yeah, on the freshest tires, Tim's going to have that long run speed here at the end of this run as we're getting deeper into stint number 2, completing lap 60. Jump back, Chris Moulton in 95, falling back about 2.3 seconds now, but still keeping Tim in that 88 out that windshield.
Yeah, and we just came across halfway. So we just crossed a stripe for halfway done with this race, and there's a lot of racing left to go. So never say never.
Yeah, Sam Drought, championship contender, still running P3. Falling back a little bit from our top 2, Kennedy and Moulton, but still doing well.
Phil Zarnowski in the 30 still pulling a 4th position. That's where he started, so he's kind of being consistent on where he qualified. Doing a real nice job out there, just keeping, putting the laps down, keeping the car in one piece. Again, I love that Interstate battery paint job. That's my era.
Yeah, looking at what Chris Moulton and that 95 did with that early pit cycle to gain that track position and time on our leader, it kind of makes me wonder if we're going to see a couple of these other guys try that here for the second round of pit stops, maybe come down a little bit earlier than they had planned.
Be nice to see what they're going to do. I don't know, a lot of guys, once they get their game plan, they stick to it, but it'll be interesting to see how this all works out. And again, just to remind you guys, our championship drivers for tonight are the 44 who we're sitting on right now, Paul Gall, number 73, Sam Drought, number 88, Tim Kennedy, number 95, Chris Moulton. That's your championship contenders, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Also, Michael Lemanchek.
Jump back to Ray Smith in the 272 Slim Fast car. It's another throwback style scheme. I like that.
Yeah, Ray has been with us for a very long time. Ray got a triple-digit number 272 because he took a little break, came back, and now is running with us again.
I'm up against the wall.
I think we got Bonner against the wall there. Oh, yeah, he's definitely hurting.
Heavy damage on the 181.
Brings it down far on the apron. I don't think he's going to bring out a caution with him being that far down. Let's see what happened with Bonner there. See right here, he comes in pretty hard, it looks like.
Yeah, he's got some front end damage there. Looks like he lost it right there off of 2.
Yeah, let's see what we got here. Smacks that inside wall, and then he just has no control of the vehicle. Almost takes out the 79. Has to ride the wall, keep it out of harm's way.
Yeah, we kind of heard him key up there. Looks like he's probably got some tie rod end damage, and that car's probably difficult to turn.
I don't think he can turn it. As you watch him bounce down the wall there, he takes it to the inside and then calls for a tow.
Yeah, that crew's going to be hard at work for just a little bit trying to get that car back out.
Back to our live with Tim Kennedy. Track map shows everything around the outside here. We have little battles going around all over the track.
Yeah, we're coming up on round 2 of pit stops here. 95 Chris Moulton pitted from P2 to start things off here again. Pitting from about 3 seconds behind the lead. Coco, I think if this runs out green, he may cycle to the front with the fresh tires and the time he gains. We've seen how important that track position is tonight. If he gets the lead, he's got a chance at keeping it.
Yeah, he does, especially with, nobody's really pulling away very fast from anybody. So if he can get that lead, it's going to take whoever's behind him time to get to close that up.
Yeah, looking at our live leaderboard there, you can see we've got 2 drivers out of this race. The 77 Vanderlei and 16 of Chris Dake have retired those cars.
Maybe scraping the wall once too many times here at Darlington. As I say that, our 44 Paul Gall gives it a little kiss. Yeah, we're showing Chris Moulton is the only guy to take an early pit stop. We're going to have to see where these other guys pit. Looks like they pitted on 40, 42, 39 before. So let's see where we end up ironing out.
He won Tim Kennedy with a 12-second lead over Sam Drott in P2.
Tim has shown us 74 of the 77, 75 of the 78 laps run. He was led 75 laps.
Yeah, I just pulled up our best lap times for tonight, and 73 P2 with the fastest lap in our top 5 right now.
We're expecting these guys to come in about the same time they came before, which is at 40 laps. If they do that, the guys who did 40 will be able to make it all the way. Matt, kind of what I'm looking at here is with the Tim Kennedy drought and a couple of others, it looks like they might be able to do it after this stop. The other ones might be short.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how that plays out tonight. I think with these guys in this pit strategy, you got a couple guys going that longer run with minimal stops, and you've got a couple guys that think the tire advantage might be the way to go. And man, as much fall off as these have, it's hard to tell this early who's got this strategy correct.
Yeah, as we see the 88 just dive in the pit lane.
Couple guys up there in front of him. Looks like the 44 of Paul Gall is in the pits, the 30 of Phil Sarnowski, and the 73 of Sam Drott in the pits as well.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this all shakes out, but I'm real interested to see how this fuel mileage ends up.
Yeah, jump back out on track with the 95. He was the first car to take the tires here on this cycle. He should, I think, cycle to our lead.
What concerns me is he's sitting here on 11 lap tires. Just not sure if he's going to be able to hang on.
Yeah, we're seeing close to 2 seconds of fall off per lap, so 11 laps. You know, it could be 15 seconds that P2 is back from him.
We'll have to see how this all shakes out. This is going to be an interesting race at the finish there.
Yeah, Coco, you can see as these latest round of pit stops cycle through, 95 is going to cycle around into the lead with Tim Kennedy going to be, looks like, well, our leaderboard's updating slow. Give me just a second and I'll tell you. Looks like P2 Tim is about 4.5 seconds behind Chris Moulton now.
And you figure, what, about 35 laps, he'll have to kind of roll that in.
Yeah, working lap 85 now here. Gonna be 35 to go.
I'm showing the interval at 3.6 seconds and closing.
Yeah, the fresh tires behind him that Tim Kennedy has, he's going to catch him. But again, this is a hard track to complete that pass, so he's going to have to work for it.
Jump aboard with Tim right now, see what he's looking at. See what kind of closure he has on these guys. You know, I think Paul, I'm looking at Paul Gall. Paul went in about the same time, right? So Paul's got one lap more on his or less on his tires right now.
Tim's got a couple cars to get around here to get behind that 95. A couple lap
Yes,
cars
he
to deal
does.
with.
Yeah, there's some distance here, guys. That's not an easy pick right there. Yeah, it's not easy to make up that kind of space there.
No. Let's run through our field real quick. P1, we have the 95 Chris Moulton. We can see him going around the 64 there, lap car. P2, Tim Kennedy. Sam Drought in P3. Phil Sarnowski, P4. Paul Gall in P5. And Nick Murphy, P6. Ray Smith in the 272's P7. Spencer Britton is in P8. P9 is Sean Kaiser. P10, Shane Bowie. And P11, Edwin Post. The 181, Daniel Bonner, still in the pits. That crew's still working on that damage. And again, Chris Dake and Vanderlei both out of this race in 13th and 14th.
Yeah, these guys are still fighting hard at lap 92. We've got, 28 laps to go.
Yeah, and some of these guys are going to be having to come down and get some more fuel to finish this out.
Well, Tim's got the 64 to work around, and then he can go after the 95. So let's see how this works out.
Yeah, 64 pulls over for him. 95 making the dive down to pit road, if you saw that.
Oh.
So it looks like 95 is trying to split this last stage and get all the life out of the tires he can here. That cycles Tim Kennedy in the 88 back to our lead.
Do you think that Chris is hoping that the 88 doesn't have enough fuel?
Hope is a brave strategy to have here at Darlington.
Yes, it is. I just was wondering because I'm like, yeah, this is going to give Tim some breathing room, you know?
Yeah, Tim's got quite a bit of room here. 12 seconds back to P2 now. The 73 is Sam Drought.
$25 laps to go at the stripe.
Caution, yellow flag.
Caution is out. I'm gonna see what I can figure out here real quick.
No, I just clicked on the yellow flag. This
Not
will
quite-
certainly shake some things up.
Yes, it will, but I'm not quite sure on how or why it came out. I'm going to check out Chris Moulton coming out of the pits for a minute here. I don't show anything to cause this caution. It looked like, oh, we had a Nick Murphy crash. Let's see there. As everybody comes down pit lane, we got Tim Kennedy coming down. Sam Drought, Phil Sanowski, and Paul Gall all coming down pit lane.
Bruh moment.
Sam Drought, you have Coco and Matt in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How you doing tonight?
Hey, how you doing tonight? I see you got Tim in front of you there. You got anything for Tim tonight?
Oh, we'll see. It's going to be probably if I can keep the tires underneath this thing on the long run.
Hey,
Short
we didn't
pace,
see
he's got me.
anything. Yeah, we didn't see anything coming out on the track for that yellow. You know what happened out there?
Nope, did not see it on my end. Sounded like it happened on the other side of the track. Guys just trying to navigate lap traffic and gotten into each other.
All right, I'm going to let you go, buddy. Looks like you got one to go, and I want to let you concentrate. You go ahead and get that 88.
All right, thank you.
Good luck. Well, that was Sam's. Yeah.
Sam.
Sam in the 73 says you got to hold on to them tires.
Yeah, these guys are coming around back to green here. A lot of different strategies shaking out there. Our contenders, Tim Kennedy P1, Sam Drought in P2, and Paul Gall in P4 on the outside there. Chris Moulton in 95, a couple rows back. Green
Tim
is
gets a
out.
good-
Coming around, completing lap 20 to go. '73 working that outside, trying to keep that 88 within reach.
Yeah, the 30 is not in the championship race, but he is in the race, and he's definitely going to put himself there.
73 getting a run on the outside, puts it in the wall.
Sam is definitely pedaling.
Yeah, I got the 30. Lifts a little early, maybe gives him the line going into one there. Got a lap car out here in front of him, 55 of Shane Bowie, that these leaders are going to have to deal with here in just a second.
Yeah, it's definitely hard when you're the 30. You want to win the race, right? But you don't want to mess up that championship run you got in front of you. So it's a real difficult decision you got to make in milliseconds.
We missed a pass there. 95 got around the 44 for that P4 position.
55 takes it down to the apron.
Yep. Being very respectful, just getting out of the way.
16 laps to go. .30 dives down to the apron for some reason.
Yeah, that's going to put Tim Kennedy, Sam Drott, and Chris Moulton, your top three. Phil Sarnowski in P4, Spencer Britton in P5, and Paul Gall, our last championship contender, back in P6. Sam may be getting those tires a little hot trying to work that thing. Falling back just a little bit, now 4 tenths back from Tim.
We need to throw some marbles out there. Looks like Chris Moulton just got up into the wall a bit.
So difficult for these guys to get that power down on these exits.
You can see it right there and hear it. You know, they got to let out that throttle, let that car rotate. It's just definitely hot right now.
See the 95 get really loose and tag the wall.
Yeah, I think those just slipping and sliding around right now.
Your leader, Tim Kennedy, coming around to 10 to go in the Gen 4 championship race at Darlington.
You got Edwin Post down there on the apron, letting those leaders on by. I'm going to the back of the field for a minute. Gonna check out our Shane Bowie, currently in ninth, started in ninth, had some trouble throughout the race. The race missed currently. He started in eighth. It seems like everybody just held their position tonight there, Matt.
Yeah, we covered this. This is such a hard track and such a large track for this number of cars. It's difficult to make that pass.
Yeah, as I said before, you kind of wait for that guy in front of you to make a mistake, right?
Yeah, we just saw the 95 get into the wall there. And the 272. These guys are fighting these cars so loose.
Let's check on Paul Gall, currently fifth. Another one of our championship contenders. Sam Drought made up some time and then feels the wall once again. And back to your leader, number 88, Tim Kennedy.
Tim coming around, 4 to go. 1.1 seconds back to P2. One thing Tim does not want to see is another yellow. I think the rest of these guys are begging for one.
Yeah, that would make it quite interesting. I'm not sure how many tire sets they have left. I think they should have one. But that would make things real interesting. We have, what, 2 laps to go?
Yeah, Tim coming around looking for that white flag out of 4 here. Be 1 to go this time around. Last time through your championship, Tim Kennedy out front, Sam Drought in P2, Paul Gall in P5, and Chris Moulton in P6, your championship 4 drivers.
Tim goes into 3 here for one last time. Comes out of 4 looking good. There's your gap between first and second and your 2 championship contenders. Tim taking that checkered flag and the championship for the Tuesday night KCE Racing League Gen 4 championship race.
Yeah, what a season Tim had. 11 starts and 6 wins in the Gen 4 series.
Yeah, consistent all season long.
Get to watch Tim here burn it down. Happy driver.
All right, so what we'll try to do for you here is we watch Tim burn it down. We're going to grab the third place, the second place, and then we'll talk to Tim about his run tonight.
Spencer, Matt, and Coco up in the booth. You got us?
I got you.
Bringing home P3 tonight. Man, tell us about your race and what you were looking at out there.
Yeah, I got a penalty there on the first pit stop. Made a bonehead move getting in, but got the lucky dog. I'm not sure exactly how I managed that. I didn't think I was going to be the one to get it. But yeah, it was fun out there, sliding around. Car was a little tighter than in practice. I must have got some damage from one of the 10 or 15 times I hit the wall, but it's fun.
Yeah, we talked about tonight. It looked like, man, a lot of you guys were starting third, finishing third. Seemed kind of hard to pass out there tonight.
Yeah, there's definitely some arrow I noticed in turn one for sure. If you got up too close to somebody, you couldn't get it cut down on to go through turn two. So definitely felt that. You had to be careful not to stay behind the car too closely because you'd just got drilled because you'd burn your right front off pretty quick doing that. But yeah.
Well, good race, Spencer. Bringing home P3. Good season to you. We'll catch you next race.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, congratulations on a podium there, bud.
Thanks. See ya.
See ya. All right, man, we're going to try to grab Sam Drought in the second position tonight. We'll see how he has to say about his race. Hey, Sam, it's Coco and Matt at the booth. You got to...
How you guys doing?
We're doing okay. Tell us about your race, man. I thought you were going to stick with Tim there at the end and give him something to think about.
Yeah, I was trying, but well, me and the wall became fast friends. I hit on turn one, or yeah, coming out of turn two, I should say.
Did you were you fighting that all night long? It seemed like the guys were having a hard time holding that car off that wall tonight.
Oh yeah. It was kind of it was a weird tight. Usually I like having it tight here coming into 1 and 2 because you can kind of power on to get it loose in the back. But yeah, it was just kind of weird tonight.
So when you kind of were hanging with Tim, you were hanging with him pretty good for the first start of that stint, and we thought you might be able to keep with him. Was it the car? Was it really loose from start to finish? Was it tight start to finish?
It was tight to start. It would it was tight to start. It would get a little bit loose in the middle, tighten back up at the end. But no, I think I was over driving into 3 and 4 because I about ran him over the first time we entered there.
Okay, yeah. So, Matt, you have anything for Sam?
Yeah, Sam, good season, man. 12 starts, 7 top 5s, and 10 top 10 finishes this season. Put it together. Be proud of P2 this season.
Thank you.
And Sam, is there any hellos or requests or anything you want to say to anybody before we let you roll?
Well, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Haven Hobby, and I'd like to thank my wife and my daughter.
Fantastic. Well, that was a good run, Sam, and a good season you put together. It was a great time watching you. Thanks again, and congratulations on the podium, second place.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We'll put you back down. Thank you again. Matt, we got Tim Kennedy. Tim, you got Matt and Coco in the booth.
Yeah, hi guys.
How's it going?
Great.
Congrats on the Gen 4 championship. and race wins, sir. About the only battles being fought out there tonight look like lap traffic.
Yeah, it was a little bit small field tonight, which is unfortunate. But yeah, lap traffic is always rough here. There's not not many places to pass.
Yeah, and certainly a difficult track for all of these drivers out there. It looked like you guys were fighting some tight conditions and some loose conditions all at the same time.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. This was a very challenging combination. Even with the cool track temps, it was quite a handful coming off the corners, and you had to be really careful, especially on the entry to one, not to get too low, not to get greedy. Otherwise, you'd be cranking the wheel trying to keep it off the wall.
Yeah.
So, Tim, I have one question for you. When you saw Chris Moulton going in early on his pit strategy, did that concern you at all?
No, I'll tell you why. Because the fall off wasn't too bad. Like, it was only like maybe a second to a second, 1.2 seconds. So I knew trying to three stop it wasn't really going to pay off. You wouldn't really make up the time on track. So I just tried to. I didn't have to save fuel very much. I mean, for a couple laps, I coasted a little bit into the corners, but other than that, I had enough to make it two stops. But I'll tell you what, the last 10 laps of a fuel run, was not very fun. The car was all over the place.
Yeah, there at the end, we kind of saw that late caution, and we weren't able to find that in our broadcast. Any idea what happened out on track, and did that put a kink in anybody's strategy?
I don't know exactly what happened. I think I think the 55 and maybe the two got together. I'm not really sure. I'll have to take a look at it. But no, I mean there was enough laps left in the race where I thought just coming in and getting some fresh tires was going to be fine, and yeah, worked out good.
All right, Tim. Well, congratulations on the championship. Congratulations on winning the race. A great season put together by you there. Anybody you want to thank, sponsors, friends, family, what have you?
Well, thank you guys for broadcasting again. Hopefully we can get some traction, get some guys in here, and get some full fields. It'll be really fun for next season. So thank you for that, and just want to thank all the guys at KCE. It's good bunch of guys to race with 3 nights a week.
Yeah, these guys showed some real respectful racing out there, and like I said, congratulations on that. And we'll go ahead and say goodbye and see you next season. And we're coming after you.
Good. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Tim. Have a great one. All right, Matt. Well, that kind of sums up our Tuesday night Gen 4 KCE Racing Championship race. Well, what do you got to say about that one, huh?
Yeah, good race by all these guys. Good season, good win. Congratulations to Tim and all of our racers. It's fun watching these guys out on track, and enjoy being out on track with these guys for our O'Reilly's series and our truck series.
Yep. KC Racing. Remember, guys, we have Tuesday night Gen 4, Thursday night O'Reilly's, and Sunday night Truck Series. Yeah, we'll see you next week. Matt and I in the booth. Thanks again, Matt, for broadcasting with me. I had a fun time, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. And we'll say goodnight, sleep well, and stay safe, everybody. Bye-bye.